Hi Sharks! Today we're working in our Go Math book, Chapter 1, and we are on Lesson 1.11, Combine Place Values to Subtract. So we are on page 67, so you can turn your book to page 67 and work along with me. Be sure to pause the video if you need a little bit more time to finish writing your answers. So let's unlock the problem. Elena collected 431 bottles for recycling. Pete collected 227 fewer bottles than Elena. How many bottles did Pete collect? So first I'm going to take a look at my problem. I'm going to picture what's happening in the problem. So I'm thinking of collecting items for recycling. And I'm picturing a girl with 431 bottles. And then I'm picturing a boy, he has 227 fewer than that girl. So he's going to have a little bit less than she does. How many bottles did Pete collect? So I'm going to underline my question of what I'm trying to figure out. And I need to figure out the difference here to see how many he collected, because I know he collected fewer, 227 bottles fewer than Elena. So whenever I see fewer, I think, oh, that's subtraction. I'm just going to put a little subtraction symbol there to remind me. I'm thinking this is just going to be one step because I have two numbers here and I saw that word fewer and I know that I'm finding the difference and there's no other step that I need to take. So when I subtract, I can do my typical way that I'm used to subtracting by using place value. I'm going to estimate first and before I start, just to make sure that my answer is close to my estimate. So 431 would round to 400. 227 would round down to 200. So I know that my difference is going to be about 200. Now I'm used to subtracting like this, and that is fine. You will always be able to use this strategy. But today we're going to give this new strategy a try, and it might work for you. So the trick about using this new strategy is you're going to combine two place values together. So if we take a look at this first problem right here, the problem that we have above, 431 minus 227. So I'm going to look and I see here that 31 and 27 are pretty close to one another. In fact, I could start at 27 and count up to 31 to get the difference. So if I would do that, I start at 21 and I would count 20 or 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Well, I know the difference is 4. So I would write 4 and put a 0 here to hold the place because I know that 4 represents 4 ones. And that's exactly what they did for that problem, the problem down below. Then they're taking it step by step for you. Then all I need to do is subtract the hundreds place. So my answer is 204 bottles. And I know that it's very similar to the estimate of 200. So I know that my answer is most likely correct. Because since 204 is close to the estimate of 200, I know my answer is reasonable. Let's try another one. I'm going to write up here 204 bottles. That's how many Pete collected. Okay, so let's go down and try another one with this new way to subtract. So this next problem, 513 minus 482. Okay, so if I look at these two numbers, and I'm going to write this separately over here, I know that I'm not going to be able to combine these two numbers this time. Because do you notice 13 and 82, first of all, 13 is smaller than 82, so I couldn't take that away, right? I can't take 82 from 13. And I also know that they are not close to one another, so I can't really count on and easily subtract this way. But what I can do, I can now combine the hundreds and the tens for this one. Okay, so I notice that 48 and 51 are very close to one another. If I think of them on a number line, I have 48 and I would count, I don't count 48 though, right? I jump up, so I would count 49, 50, 51. And I see there's the difference of 3 there. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 3 minus 2, which would equal 1. And then I'm going to bring my 3 down. And I know my answer then, the difference is 31. I realize that I forgot to estimate here. So let's do that. It's okay if you forgot, you can come up here. I know that 513, if I estimate that, I would round to about 510. And then 482 would round to 480. So that's a difference of 30. And if I take a look at my answer, I'm pretty close. So I know that my answer is reasonable. Okay, let's try combining place values again. We're now on to page 68 in your book. So if you want to turn that page. So we are not going to do this section right here for the combining place values. We're going to move down now to 2 other problems on page 68. We're going to practice our 2 ways to use place value. And combine place value. So let's take 851 minus 448. First, I'm going to estimate. So I would round 851 to 850, 448 to 450, and I would get the difference of 400. So I know that my answers are going to be close to 400. So the regular way that we're used to subtracting is using place value. So I know I cannot take 8 away from 1. So I have to come on over to the tens, and I'm going to take a 10 stick away from this friend, and I'm going to share it with my ones place. And I know I'm moving 10. That means I'm moving these 10 little ones over to the tens place. I already have a 1 there, so I'm going to turn that into an 11. I add 1 and then those 10 little guys over there. And I subtract 11 minus 8 equals 3. 4 minus 4 equals 0. And then I can take 4 away from 8 to get 4. So my answer is 403. Now let's try the combining place value strategy, and let's see if that will work here. So first I'm going to look, I see here that 51 and 48 are very close to one another. Again, I think about the number line 48. I count on 49, 50, 51. So that is the difference of 3. And I don't have any 10s in that number. And then I simply bring the 4 down for 8 minus 4. And look at that, I get the same answer. And I also see that it's very close to 400. So I know that my answer is reasonable. Okay, let's go down and practice some more problems. We're going to move on to the share and show, and this is on page 69. So we're going to move on to 406 minus 227, and we're going to try to combine the place values. So I see here that 6 and 74, that's not going to work to combine those place values. But I'm going to see if I can combine 40 and 27. I know that they're pretty close. I can count up to figure that answer out. So first I'm going to subtract the 1. 6 minus 4 equals 2. And then I'm going to subtract 40 minus 27. Well, I know that I need 3 to add to 27 to get to 30. And then 30 and 40 will be 10 more. So I know that my answer is going to be 13 for that. And if you needed to regroup for that, you could do that to help you. So there I have my difference of 132. Let's go down and practice at problem 2. Let's see if we can find the difference using our combining place value strategy. Right here I notice that 95 and 86 are quite close to one another. So I know that I can count on from 86 to 95, and I will get the answer of 9. And then I simply bring my hundreds place down. Okay, let's go on to 3. Let's see if I can combine the place value for this one. So I'm going to first estimate. I forgot to do that for my last one. So I have 700 plus or minus 500. So I know my answer is going to be around 200. So let's see. For this one, I'm thinking I can probably combine 28 plus 15, or sorry, minus 15. Keep saying plus, I have addition on my mind today. And I can subtract that, and I can get 13. And then I'll subtract my hundreds place. Okay, let's try our next one, number 4. For number 4, I think I'm going to use my traditional place value method for this because I'm noticing 43 and 7 aren't easily subtracted. But maybe I could, you know what, maybe I could try 54 minus 30. But what I notice about that is when I have that, I can't subtract 3 minus 7 there. So I'm going to do my traditional place value for this one. Okay, so I can't take 7 away from 3, so I'm going to come over and borrow from my tens place. So I take a 10 away and I bring it over. That means I have these little guys now, 10 of them, to add to the 3. And I'll do my subtraction. And my difference is 236. And let's go on to our last one. So our last one, we're going to use our traditional place value. Now, here's a trick when you're subtracting a number that is in the hundreds that has zeros in it. So I know that I can't take 3 away from 0. I can't take 3 away from nothing, right? So whenever I have to come over to my next column, but there's nothing there for me to regroup, I simply can cross this off and make this 1 less. I'm going to take 1 of those away and move it over here. So 60 becomes 59, and now I'm able to subtract. So we will practice that more when we're in class together learning. So I hope today you learned a new strategy, combine place values. It doesn't always work. It's only when your numbers are pretty close to one another. Remember, you can always do your traditional way of subtracting the way you're used to regrouping. This is just another strategy that you can add to your tool belt of knowledge for subtracting. Thank you for learning with me today. Bye.